I only ever went to one school dance, and it was so overrated that I never went back. So this it was 6th grade when I went to do that, specifically the Halloween one. So throughout elementary school, I'd seen school dances show up in TV and movies. I was inundated with the whole image of you dress up in a suit, you get a date, you arrive in a limo, basically prom. But turns out there were other types of school dances. When that Halloween one was first announced, I was in a special group, boys group, a group for me and some of my friends and a couple of others who were on special education programs. This was before I took the test that freed me from the individual education plan. But basically, the guidance counselor told us all about it. He said that it wasn't going to be like what you saw on TV with the things I just described. So, out of curiosity, because 11-year-old me had never been to a school dance, I bought a ticket and decided to go see what it was all about. And so, on Halloween night 2008, I got my costume of the Joker from The Dark Knight because that movie had recently come out. And it was either available on or about to be available on home media. Anyway, the costume was available because that was what was trending at the time, and I really liked the movie. Yeah, I spray painted my hair green and all that, and just dressed up as the character for the sake of the fun. I even still have the rubber mask for it. Of course, today I'm pretty sure that that costume would be considered a red flag, whether it be the Heath Ledger version or the Joaquin Phoenix version, at least in a school environment. I know my younger second cousin had to leave the blasters for a Captain Rex costume at home when he went as Captain Rex for Halloween at a school event. Understandable enough, in my opinion. Though looking back on it, I am kind of shocked that feel like that by today's standards, a Joker costume would be seen as a red flag. Technically, a lot of Halloween costumes are seen as red flags or have issues. Just to be clear, I'm not a fan of Halloween costumes that involve blackface. I am putting that out there right now. I think it's in poor taste. But if you're an adult and you're a you're looking for a Halloween costume, I'm going to tell you it's not a great idea. I would advise against it, but I can't stop you because you're legally an adult. But I'm not going to help you or encourage you either. And if you get in trouble for it, don't say I didn't warn you. Anyway, I went in there and it was nothing like what movies and TV showed. Okay, my memories are a little fragmented on it now because this was over 16 years ago now. But there was no ballroom dancing, there was no No one was on a date. No one was It was basically a party like the guidance counselor told my group. I just wandered around the gym, ate some snacks. I think I tried to dance a little. I don't remember for sure. I just know that eventually I got kind of bored and I wanted to go, but I had to wait until a certain time before my parents could come and pick me up. That, and I don't think they were going to let anyone leave early. I remember one I saw an advertisement for later in high school said something about how doors close after an hour after the ceremony, after the beginning of the event, and then you have to stay for pretty much all of it. I'm sure they would have made an exception if there was an emergency, but honestly, it didn't sit it right with me, and I realized right there that school dances are overrated. There was nothing fun about it. Maybe it's because I don't think any of my main friends those who are now Henriotti members were there with me. Pretty sure they had better things to do. And even the friend who had offered me the who had offered me the beer on the last day of 5th grade, I'm pretty sure he wasn't there either. Yeah, I'm realizing that my memory on that isn't as clear as possible. I just remember finding it overrated. And then after that, I never went to another school dance again. 7th grade, the exact same dance, didn't go. I remember it was the day before Halloween in 7th grade that it was held, but I felt really rebellious meeting up with my friends after school and choosing not to go to that dance, being able to go my own way for Halloween, if you will. Yeah, Halloween was on a Saturday that year, so the dance was on the Friday before it. Yeah, 8th grade is when they started having the ones that would be more like what you'd see in high school. There was this spring dance for 8th graders that happened to fall on April Fool's Day that I am proud to say that I chose to watch the Clone Wars season 3 finale instead of going to, because that was the episode where Chewbacca showed up. I was really excited for that. I To this day I still think it was really cool to see Chewbacca in Clone Wars animation style. Not to mention, it was a great pair of episodes about Anakin learning to trust that Ahsoka would find her way home when she was captured by the Trandoshans who kidnapped her and threw her into the hunting ground. Yeah, those were good times. And I also told you about the one that I was held in June, the 8th grade semi-formal, or it might have been a complete formal. See, the April Fool's Day one, as I'm calling it, was a bit more casual. I think it might have been semi-formal. I just remember the 8th grade one was the formal. It was kind of like the middle school equivalent of prom, and I decided I had no interest in it because of the my experience with the sixth grade dance being boring. Not to mention, I hadn't managed to ask out the girl I had a crush on at the time. By high school, yeah, I officially decided that school dances weren't for me. I can't think of any from freshman year that I would have had the privilege of turning down. Sophomore year, I think there was something. There might have been something, but I don't remember. Junior and senior years, obviously there was the prom. Oh wait, it was the homecoming dances. I turned down the collective invitation from the school to go to those by not going to those. I remember freshman year was held really late because they just finished the new field, so I watched a new episode of the Clone Wars that day. Actually, it was the day that the first episode of the Umbara saga premiered. That's the 4 episodes that followed the 501st being led by General Pong Krell in the basic foreshadowing of Order 66. Then you had sophomore year was in, I think it was in October, it might have been late September, I don't remember. I just remember the Clone Wars moved to Saturday mornings by that point, and I wanted nothing to do with that dance either. Honestly, I didn't want anything to do with the pep rallies at the time. I don't know. I guess I just lacked school spirit, or I didn't want to consider myself loyal to it. I just, I've always been of the mindset that school is a thing you just go in, you do your work, maybe make a friend or two along the way, and then leave. I was never a fan of extracurricular activities. I'm not going to say, hey, right now that they shouldn't exist. But I guess that was kind of my mentality back then. I didn't really understand the whole thing about it being beneficial. I always thought it was kind of dumb that people would do them for the sake of having something to put on their resume or their college applications. Though that's a separate topic for another day. Junior year, it was both homecoming and prom. I had the honor of rejecting going to both of those. No, I didn't get to reject any girl who tried to ask me out, but I did get to reject the school's offer to buy a ticket to go to that. And then senior year, there was an additional snowball, like a winter ball. I chose not to go to that. I rejected their offer. I guess I also just hated formal clothing. I never actually owned a suit until I was 22. Yeah, I really hated formal clothing. Still kind of do to this day. Not as much. I do enjoy a button-up shirt with a slight collar. Something a little more formal, but not too formal. Honestly, maybe I should wear that more often on here instead of the hoodie and pajama bottoms I usually wear. Not that you can see the pajama bottoms, but you can trust I'm wearing them. Yeah, and then after high school, there really wasn't anything until senior year of college. I remember they had a senior formal during spring semester 2019, and once again, I had the privilege of rejecting that. I had no classes on Fridays, so I remember that day I actually went to the Franklin Park Zoo for the day in the morning and then went home and did my usual thing. I might have picked up a little something extra for lunch and or dinner. I don't remember. Well, that's all I have to say about school dances because the college senior formal, I remember hearing complaints about how it was basically the high school dramas all over again, which makes a lot less sense for a bunch of 22-year-olds compared to a bunch of 17 or 18-year-olds. Well, again, that's assuming everyone's there because there were some people in my graduating class who were older because college is a different beast when it comes to how old people are. Because some people might have transferred in and be at that point for graduation compared to people are at different points in their college career when they graduate. Like my cousin and graduated a whole year early. He was supposed to graduate in 2020. He took enough classes over the summer and such that he graduated in 2019 alongside me. And I think he made the right call because he wouldn't have been able to have a proper graduation ceremony if he graduated in 2020, which is something he would have valued more compared to me, who chose not to walk my college graduation because I didn't want to get up early to go to the commencement thing, and I didn't really care about the whole thing overall. Kind of like how I didn't really care about going to church. It was just out of habit. I decided, no, I don't have to spend time or money on going to my college commencement. Not to mention, no, you know what? I'm going to save that story for another day. But anyway, I'm going to leave it here for the video. Comment what you think. Comment and your experiences with school dances over the years. I'd love to hear if you had better experiences than I did, or what you did as a personal morp, if you will. For those of you who don't know, one of the later episodes of Malcolm in the Middle, well, Malcolm organized one because it was like a protest of prom, a reverse prom. Give this video a like, subscribe for daily videos, and I'll see you soon.